think I was in the 6th or 7th grade, and me and my other friends, both of them were black, we were at the South Lake Town Center, whatever mall. Y'all know it was mostly white people over there. And so we went to this old lady store. We didn't know it was an old lady store at the time. We just knew they had like a big mirror, and we wanted to take pictures because we're 12 and we want to take pictures. And so we're in the back, it's like by the dressing room, and they didn't, like, the employees, they didn't, like, I wouldn't say like they were looking at us when we first walked in, like, it was like, hi, welcome in and all that. So we went to the back, and we were just taking stupid pictures, laughing. And then I could tell that this one white employee, she kept looking at us, like, and then like she would tap her friend, and she'd be like, hey, like, she would like that. And so we were just minding our business, taking pictures. We were in there for like 5 minutes, I would say. And then when we were starting to leave, they didn't corner us, but like they stopped us. He was like, hi. I don't even remember what they said. They were you could just tell that they thought we were stealing something. Like, they were looking around. They were like, you could tell they were like, do they have anything in their pockets or whatever? And then we were like, oh no, we were just taking pictures. We're gonna leave now. And she was like, oh, okay, but y'all can't do that in here anymore. And we was like, oh yeah, we're sorry. And she was like, sorry, are you sure you didn't take anything? And we were like, no. And then I don't know why, one of my friends, I don't know why she said, she was like, oh no, I'm so sorry, we were just taking pictures. Oh, and I can sing really good. And she's like, oh yeah, of course you can. Like, I was like, okay, well, what does that mean? Like, cause she's like, she can sing good. She's like, oh, can you sing something for us? So like, literally, I don't think if my friend did not sing in that moment, she would have called the security, the police on us, and we would not got out that store, like, not in trouble. Like, I don't know. I just felt, at the time, I was like, okay, that was weird. And so when we told my mom about it, she was like, Alicia, do not go in that store anymore. I don't care who you're with. You better make sure that you have a grown-up with you, because they were racially profiling you, and you need to not go anywhere without like one of us ever again. And so I feel like, I don't know, it just made me feel uneasy at the time. Of course, I forgot about it, but I don't know. I just noticed little things. I notice little things a lot now. Like, okay, I'm black and what? I didn't steal nothing, so. Yeah.
Stereotypes.
Mm-hmm.
I think I have like 2 experiences that like really stand out. When I was younger, I went to school in North Carolina. Like, I lived there for like 7 years, and they have a year-round school system there. So it's like separated between different tracks. There's like track 1, 2, 3, and 4, and they're all like in school at different times. So instead of being out for the summer, like, people just rotate like 8 weeks on, 3 weeks off. So my mom has always been like very like tough on me about like my grades. Like, my parents have always been like, you know, you're going to college, like, you're going to college. And I'm very grateful for that, but like, I also realized like a lot of people's parents aren't like that. So the track that I was on, I think there was 3 black kids on the track, and there was a track that was predominantly black, like all black. There was one that was like Hispanic, and my mom was like, this is like racist. Like, why are they like separated by their race? And I would always tell her, like, I want to be like over there with people that look like me. Like, I don't want to be here. Like, so my mom went to the school, and they told her, they were like, well, these kids that your daughter's with, they're college bound. Like, they're college bound kids. Like, we know that their grades, they're gonna go to college. And mom's like, she's in 6th grade. Like, what are you talking about? Like, how do you know kids are college bound? And I feel like kids who were in like the track that was predominantly black, they weren't being taught, or they weren't being taught as well as we were. Like, they weren't being given the same opportunity as we were. And that's just something that's like always stuck with me, because I feel like they're already at a disadvantage because of someone's perception of them. They feel like, oh, they're not college bound, but why? Just because of the neighborhood that they come from, or just because their parents aren't up there like my mom was every week hassling them about like, my daughter needs to be in this, my daughter needs to be in that. Like, she needs, like, and I'm very grateful for that, because like, I know my teachers probably like are very like annoyed with my parents, but they were always the ones that were like at the school, like just making sure like I was in the right classes and I was doing the right stuff. And a lot of people's parents weren't, and I feel like they missed out on stuff, because there were some people who deserved to be in the gifted classes, but their parents didn't fight for them to be. And I feel like a lot of teachers, not a lot of teachers, but there are some people who stereotype black kids. Like my mom, she was a first generation college student, and she was telling me about this yesterday. She said her counselor at her school told her, don't go to college, like you're not smart enough to go to college. And I was like, what? Like she actually said that? She was like, yes, like that's common. She was like, don't go to college, just go to a JUCO or just go to a trade school or something. And my mom went and she said it was difficult. It took her a while, but she like went through and she not passed, but graduated. And like the second experience that stuck with me was like when sports, we were about to play a predominantly like team that had a lot of black girls on it. And our coach said, she made a comment saying, this is like, it made me so upset. But she was like, you know, like they're just not like a physical team, like, you know, they're normally just fast or they're normally just strong. And I was like, okay, like where's this going? Like where's this going? She was like we have to actually like watch film on them. We have to actually be like engaged whenever we're playing them because, you know, they have white girls on the team. They're more sophisticated this year. And I'm like, I look around and like nobody says anything. And I'm like, so is that how you view African American players, as unsophisticated, as just like an athlete, as just strong or just fast? And I was like, is that how I'm viewed? Like, do you not see me as sophisticated because I'm black? And I just feel like, I don't know, like that just kind of changed my perception. And I was afraid to speak up. Like I didn't say anything to the coach. And I regret that because later on down the road, there was some other stuff that was said. And it was like, I feel like if I would have used my voice and speak to her and tell her like, what you said was offensive, what you said, you know, made me feel like you see me in a lesser light than white players because you see them as sophisticated while you see black players as just like fast, strong, you know, a body on the field to use. And I don't know, I just feel like from that experience I learned like I need to use my voice and I need to speak up when something is wrong. Like I don't need to be afraid or feel like I'm just causing confrontation when stuff like that does happen. And I feel like a lot of people are scared to speak because I definitely was scared to speak because it's like that person's in power. So that person affects, like if I play, that person affects like everything else. Like if I'm going to be seen like in this game or if like I'm going to go to college for this school because they have the power. So I don't know. I just don't want to be afraid to speak.
No. And there is a difference, a big difference between communication and confrontation.
Yeah.
You know, communication is something I think that's necessary. You know, it's what we're doing right now. It's what everybody in the world needs to be doing about this particular topic and others that can help, again, affect the necessary change in our society. I think, I guess my question to you, Tatum, in that is what other kinds of communication, be it social media or otherwise, what can not only the four of us sitting here do, but what can others that are checking this out, listening to us, how else can they communicate amongst themselves, amongst their groups, whether it's church or you know, school or whatever, work. How can those conversations be had and not be viewed as confrontational?
I think that it starts with educating yourself first. So people like me, I think that educating yourself on maybe your white privilege is very important before you go and have conversations with other people about it, because I think that, you know, if you start a conversation with somebody and they get defensive about it, so they kind of come off the wrong way towards you and you don't really know what you're talking about, then you might get defensive as well, and it's going to become a heated argument and things might be said that might not need to be said. But I think that just educating yourself and then using the education to go forward and not only have conversations but maybe stand up for people. Like I, on certain teams, have had coaches who have said like extremely racist things, and like recently I was at practice one time and I was the only white girl on my team at that time, and one of the white coaches on the team walked up to one of the girls and picked up one of her braids and was like, how am I going to remember y'all's names if you change your hair every other week? And all of us kind of just looked at each other and we just like looked around, looked at the coach, looked at our head coach, and nothing was said, nothing was done. It was just kind of like a ha ha ha, like good one, coach. Yeah. And yeah, it was an awkward laugh. I didn't say anything either, and that was definitely wrong of me. So I think that no matter who you are, I think that standing up for people when you see these things happen is very important, because I mean, like we've all said, like we're all in this together, and if we keep being selfish and we continue to only care for ourselves, then nothing's ever going to happen because nobody's going to, get any craps about you in return. So I think that, we just have to, really just fight for each other and stand up for each other and educate yourself first and make sure you know what's going on, make sure you know what to talk about correctly and, how to come across in a polite way. But I think that until we start sticking up for each other and standing up for each other and just doing what's right in general and not only when it's comfortable is going to be the biggest thing.